What's going on, guys? Snag here, and it's time to wrap up round one of the 2024 NRL season, part two, I guess, because I guess technically Vegas was part of round one, but let's wrap up part two of round one here, guys. And if you add those two together, what a way to kick off the footy, man. Absolutely crazy. We had sellouts, multiple sellouts. We had the Vegas kickoff, record-breaking ratings, all that sort of stuff. So excited to such an exciting time to be a league fan. Absolutely brilliant. I can't wait to see what this season pops off. So, yeah, this was the round of the upsets, guys. And if you followed me on TikTok, and I think I posted some here on my YouTube shorts as well, you'd see we actually had an outsiders multi-down, which only failed by 2 legs, which is absolutely crazy. And I mean, I saw people say, man, I'm 0-6, I'm 0-5, 1-7 and stuff like that. So I just wanted to talk about that in a second, and I will put that that multi up on the screen somewhere. But I just wanted to break down my tips from my preview video before this, because they were pretty shocking. And to me, it was a classic case of over-analysing. I think you can over-analyse rugby league and check stats too much and do too much like that. Sometimes you do just go, I think this team's better and it's going to win. You know, I mean, there was a perfect example that jumps out to me, and this isn't a diss to the random stats guy, Rando, absolute legend. But I remember Broncos were playing the Melbourne Storm in the semi-final, I believe, and Broncos hadn't beaten Melbourne in forever, and every stat was pointing towards Melbourne. But if I picked Brisbane, I was just sat there and I just looked at them and went, well, Melbourne are playing very average football. Broncos are playing very good football. Broncos are going to win, you know. And sometimes you do just have to do that. And I remember when I was looking at all 8 games before it kicked off, and that's why I did the outsiders multi. I was like, I actually think all 8 outsiders could win. Now, I would have changed a couple, but not many. I would have definitely had Parramatta to win, which would have been another W, and then I probably would have had the Cowboys to win as well. So I probably would have actually gone 8 from 8 if I actually listened to my gut and just went, I think these teams are better and they're going to win. So big contrast there. So from now till probably the next 5 or 6 rounds, I'm definitely going to be following my gut a bit more rather than, you know, all the limited stats we have, because it's a new year. We don't know. Like, even the bookies, one thing I said as well to the bookies, I was looking through the prices and I'm like, these look like prices from last year's game. You know what I mean? It's like they hadn't been adjusted for new players in this, that, and the other, and all that sort of stuff. I was like, you know, Broncos were super short against the Roosters. I'm like, Roosters have added heaps. Like, Broncos have lost heaps. Like, this should be a $1.90, $1.90. You know, and Broncos were firm favourites against them. So, yeah, that was just a massive L for me. I just should have listened to my gut, because if I listened to my gut, I think I would have got 8 from 8, maybe 7 from 8. I probably would have changed Melbourne. I would have tipped. I definitely would have tipped Penrith I tipped Penrith, but if Munster was in, I probably would have tipped. But anyway, I would have gone at least 7 from 8 rather than like 3 from 8 or 4 from 8, sort of thing. So I'm definitely going to have to do that a bit more. But hey. So let's have a quick look. We'll have a look at the draw just to see who won. So we obviously know the Seagulls beat the Rabbitohs, Roosters beat the Broncos, Knights got the Raiders, Warriors got the Sharks, Storm 8-0 against the Penrith Panthers, keeping the Penrith Panthers to 0. Eels smoked the Bulldogs 26-8. Titans only scored 1 try against the Dragons. Dragons look brilliant, 28-4 there. And the Dolphins get cooked by the Cowboys 18-43. And man, what a crazy round. What an absolutely crazy round. Let's have a quick look at the ladder, eh? Have a quick look at the ladder and see what it looks like now. Cowboys on top. Imagine if the top 8 stayed like this. Cowboys, Dragons, Para. Wow. Raiders with a positive for and against in the top 4. Who would have thunk it? Absolutely crazy. And then look at that bottom 8. Panthers, Broncos, Rabbitohs. Man, that is absolutely nuts. However, I don't think it'll be staying that way, guys. I don't think it'll be staying that way. All right, guys, so let's get on to the Knights and the Raiders. Now, can't remember who I tipped in this, but obviously I had the Raiders in the outsiders multi. Now, this is one of those games where, all right, so this isn't a diss to him, but I feel like Jack White was super overrated last year. I actually felt like Jack Whiten cost the Raiders 3 or 4 games. His game management, dumb penalties at dumb times, all that sort of stuff. I love Jack Whiten. He's literally one of my favourite players. But he was dead set bad last year. Like, if you want to rank him, just forget names, just numbers on the back of a jersey. If you look at his numbers from last year and what he contributed, he was a bottom 5, number 6. So when the Raiders lost him and everyone's like, "Oh, they're going to finish last," I was like, "Well, how?" They're still a really good footy team, and they lost a guy that almost held them back a bit last year. So I wasn't that down on the Raiders. I thought they would drop a little bit, but yeah, they're still. I knew they were going to be a gritty team, and I in no way, shape, or form thought they were going to be bad, and I was blown away with how good they were. I thought they were absolutely brilliant. So it was never close. So just as the game went, Knights just looked clunky. Like, they just looked super clunky. Every time they went left, balls were hitting the ground. It just didn't look smooth. There was players running behind each other. It didn't look good at all. And Ponga had 3 or 4 errors. Captain of my super coach team. I mean, Phoenix dropped like 2 or 3 balls and kicked one out on the full. It was just, I think Kalen Ponga kicked a kickoff out on the full. Like, it was just real bad. Like, really, really bad. So, pretty poor effort from the Knights, to be fair. I was not very impressed at all. My man of the match for this one was actually Big Papa. He looks lean. Or Hudson Young, whoever you want to take out of those two. Danny Levi looked great, but Big Papa looks lean, trim. He was leading kick chases without a downtown rule. Big Papa was leading. Like, he had that big play where I think he hit Bradman Best over the top and drove him back in goal. Like, that's so good. At his stage in his career, at his size, everything is accomplished. His lead and kick chases down in a random game for 2 points. That's so damn good, man. So yeah, shout out to the Canberra Raiders. I really like this Smithies guy. I don't know, like, he's not your traditional 2024 lock. Like, he's a bit more of the old school sort of lock, but he looks nice. He looks tough. Yeah, he looks like you wouldn't want to run into him. Yeah, he looked real good. I thought Gula was brilliant. He had a big line break. Solo was good as well, and yeah, not much to really write home about for the Knights. I thought they were pretty damn average, to be fair. Yeah, I don't think they dropped the ball until like the second half or something like that. It was crazy. Like, yeah, look at that completion rate, 90%. No disrespect, but a team with Jack Whiten isn't completing at 90%. With Jack Whiten in it as their chief playmaker, isn't completing the ball, isn't completing at 90%. It's just not. I mean, look at that from the Knights. That's just disgusting. Really, really bad. Yeah, I thought the stats were relatively even. I mean, there's nothing crazy that jumps out. They're both tackle efficiencies roughly the same. Just the errors, man. It was just the errors that really cost the Knights. They were really, really clunky. But to me, this is almost one of those games all right, it was just a round one. We just messed up round one. It wasn't good enough, sort of thing. Actually did think Gagai was pretty good. I think he ran for about 200 metres. Yeah, 210 metres, 77 post contact. He was trying his ass off, 5 tackle breaks. Absolutely brilliant. And who was that? Greg Margie did run for 209. I think it was pretty solid, but yeah, not much else going on there. Tomoko, I'm telling you, man, he looks almost impossible to put down. He is so strong. I'd love to see what that dude lifts in the gym, eh? Like, he looked real nice. I mean, he's only 179, but it felt like more. 3 tackle breaks. It was just, very hard to get on his back. I thought Jordan Rapana was pretty brilliant. I mean, I don't think he is the fix for them to be there. He looks like under the high ball. He drops to a knee and it just looks dodgy. You know what I mean? It looks dodgy. But hey, I thought Xavier was good. I heard a few people dissing his kicking game. I thought his long kicking game was great. I think he had maybe a bad kick or two, but bro, have you watched Ben Hunt play? People jerk off Ben Hunt every single day, but Ben Hunt dead set has 2 stinker kicks every single game. I thought if you put 2 average kicks up in a game, I think it was pretty good. I thought Jamal Foggy was great. Ethan Strange solid in defence, but yeah, I really liked what the Raiders did, and like they're gonna going to upset a lot of teams this year. They're just going to grind away and win some, lose some, and do your thing. Shout out to the Knight supporters too for getting out and supporting the thing. Absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. All right, Sharkies Wars. Another upset. I think people really glazed over this, and I did too in my preview video. I don't think I even spoke about it, but CNZ, I love Tuapiki, but he's not. The way the Warriors play is very power through their back three. Tuapiki's electric, he sidesteps, he does all this crazy stuff, but you know, normally goes CNZ blasts the ball up, Montoya just skittles the defence, you know, and then DWZ comes through, skittles, and then their sets roll, and then like AFB or whoever, and they're just Tuapiki's jumping around, trying to do his thing, and it's electric. I love it. It was really good to watch, but it doesn't suit their style, sort of thing. But man of the match for me for this one, I had Talakai or Hines. Talakai, I know he probably didn't jump out at anyone, but he took every tough carry, and there were a lot of them. To go, all right, bro, we've been pinned down 1 metre from our try line. Go run at AFB and all those guys. And he took every single one. I also thought Nico Hines' defence as well in the last 20 because I'd almost fallen off the Hines bandwagon. His defence looked so bad at high levels. Like he's fine when he's playing lower grade teams and stuff like that. But in finals games, at State of Origin, at Australia, his defence was poor. And I thought he was absolutely brilliant. And shout out to Sharkies for getting it done. AFB was absolutely brilliant. But yeah, it was crazy. So for me, there was two things for the Warriors. I think CNZ was a bigger loss than what they thought. And also Wade Egan has to play 80. So Warriors were firmly in control. Like I thought Warriors were the better team for how long would have it been? It would have been just over half time, maybe. I know Jesse Ramian scored, or maybe it was just whenever Wade Egan came off, the game just sort of switched. And no disrespect to Lussick, but it didn't. He just lacked that creativity. He just didn't quite have what Wade Egan has. Wade Egan then went back on to try and sort of save the game, and bloody injured his arm too. So hopefully he's not out for too long. Bloody kept saying it. Wade Egan, I love him, but he just keeps getting himself in stupid positions where he bloody hurts something. It's so frustrating, just ducking down to hip height to tackle someone or, you know, whatever it is. It was just, I don't know, I just think he has to play 80. He has to stay on the park. Like, it's just, yeah, they're a much better team with him in it. And I actually really like Lussick. I think he looks good, but Wade Egan's substantially better for me. Yeah, I mean, there was no one really to write home about. It was just Royce Hunt was disgustingly bad. I thought I scored with him. I had him on my bench in my Supercoach team, and I think he threw 2 offloads to the Warriors within the first 10 minutes of the game. I was just like, I thought I scored. I was like, yeah, I reckon he's going to start this year. Don't think he'll be in the team, so I got him nice and cheap. I'm like, hell yeah, we're on here, and then he just plays absolute arse and scores like 16. Thanks for that, bro. I thought McInnes was good, but yeah, nothing too crazy. But look, we'll go through this now, you actually see the Warriors weren't that bad. It was just Sean Johnson didn't click, didn't look slick. CNZ wasn't I think he is actually a little bit under. He's not a terrific ball player, but he's all right. It just didn't look right. They went left more than I thought they should have as well, and balls were hitting the ground. It is hard because you remember, like, all the Warriors fans are out there remembering the last 10 games they had last year, and then you come to the new year, you know, you're clunky sort of thing. But look, there's plenty of positives here. Completed it over 80%, brilliant. Ran for 2 kilometres. I mean, held the Sharks to 1,400 metres, brilliant. You know, 500 metres post contact, brilliant. Look at this play the ball. This sort of shows you how bad Sean Johnson was in this game. I mean, yeah, if you're getting nearly 2 second play the balls, you should be able to create something out of that. 9 offloads. The tackle efficiency was at 92. Only missed 19 tackles in the whole game. 10 ineffective, that's great. 9 errors, I mean, not bad. Penalties conceded, 8. I mean, for the Warriors fans, don't panic. I just think it was a timing issue. Things were a little off. I actually think if Sean Johnson, let's just for a second pretend Sean Johnson played like he did towards the end of last year, I think the Warriors probably win this 28-8, something like that. So I wouldn't panic if I was the Warriors. However, I do think you have a tough game next weekend as well. So definitely Warriors have to be better. In particular, Sean Johnson, Metcalf, and I'm not too sure how far away CNZ is, but if you know, drop it in the comments, guys. But yeah, it was look, good win for the Sharkies. You know, the Warriors came, they brought it. Like they beat. It's not like the Warriors played horrendous. I just showed you all their numbers. They're good numbers. And they got the dub. So shout out to the Sharks, and don't worry, Waz, you'll be back. You'll be back, lads. All right, Storm Panthers. What a disgusting game. They were building this up as game of the round. It was so ugly, man. It was so damn ugly. What have I got for this one? Nothing. All right, so I don't want to talk about this game too much because it was so bad. So I don't even really need to go through the stats and do a whole heap on it. But a lot of people writing off the Panthers and what went wrong and stuff like that. I've got two sort of thoughts on this one. I've got a few. Panthers are not done. That's for sure. They restricted Melbourne to one try in 80 minutes. Tiny May, I think he's going to... I actually said this last year to people. I didn't say it on a video because it just would have sounded stupid because Stephen Crichton is such a monster. Week in, week out, I actually think Tiny May is going to be a better centre than Stephen Crichton. Never going to do what Critter does in big games. Like I don't think any centre ever will again. Like it's ridiculous. 4 tries, match-winning tries in grand finals, all that sort of stuff. It's absolutely nuts. But I actually like his build a bit better for centre. He looks big, powerful, stronger. I think he can go get more metres for Penrith. He looks the most dangerous on the park out of both teams. And if he gets nice, if they get their rhythm right, they can hit him. I think he's going to be. He could dead set end up being one of the best centres in the game. Like he looked super dangerous, and he's going to be a gun. He's going to be a gun once they get their time right. Now just remember, guys, Penrith started 4-4 last year, and this is the thing: their offense was so bad, and I'll get to that in a sec. But the defensive systems were in place. I mean, they conceded about 10. When they had a full strength team, I think they conceded 10 points a game. They had a few games with Penrith with heaps of players out for Origin and stuff where they leaked 20 points. It sort of made their defence look a little bit worse than it was. But I think with a full strength team, they conceded roughly 10 points a game, which is just absurd. So before we go, all right, Penrith's done. Just think for a second. Penrith are probably going to keep you to 12 points or under. Can you stop them from scoring less than 12 points? Now, Melbourne went, yeah, we can, and they did it. I don't know if many other teams can. It's going to be tough. They've got Parramatta next weekend, and it's not as simple as people think. It was awful. Now, as far as the attack goes, there was timing issues. Their attack looked better in Wigan. Was it in Wigan they played in England? Wherever they played in England. I thought their attack looked better there. It looked heaps slicker. They were playing out the back and all that. I don't know. I've felt this for a while, and you guys let me know what you think about it, but I feel like Nathan Cleary looks for Luai too much. It's almost like, you know when you want to get your little bro involved? Bro, you're the best player in the world. Like, take control of it, man. Like, the amount of times he got the ball in the fifth and just shifted it, and Luai had nothing on. Like, it's not like he was putting it into Luai who had space. Luai was standing there as well. I'm like, bro, you got the ball. You're 10 metres away from another player. You're the best player in the world. Like, do something, bro. Like, don't shift it to Luai because Luai can sort of, might be better at creating something out of nothing or whatever. But it was bizarre to me. I mean, look at the grand final. When did Cleary play his best? When Luai was on the bench. I'm not saying that Luai shouldn't be in the team, but I just feel like Cleary looks for him too much. Bro, you're the best kicker in the game. You got one of the best bombs. You can put it on a dime. You got a mad grubber. You can, bro, just take a bit more control. It was bizarre to me, and they just looked so all over the place. They kept getting called on fifth tackle again. I don't get it, man. It was really, really bizarre. So a lot of work to do, but like scary thing is their defensive systems look exactly the same. So super, super scary. Another thing, I thought they actually missed Spencer Leno a little bit. Just when, we'll get to Parramatta in a minute, but you know, you got two really good forwards and nothing super good on the bench. Like, they bring Moses off, bring the Spencer Leno on. I think Moses is quite a bit better, but like the gap's not huge. And then, you know, Liam Henry looked good. Lindsay Smith looked good. Eisenhuth looked good, but they just lacked that little bit of go forward that they sort of needed. But yeah, I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But Sorensen will be back, and then yeah, we'll have to wait and see. But another thing as well, I thought their middle did look a little more flimsy with Summerton there. I really like Mitch Kenny. He suits their system really good. No nonsense, just pass the ball off the ground and get it to your guns and smack dudes in defence. So I think they'll be much better. I think he only got one week for his antics. Right, we'll get to the team stats, guys. I mean, Penrith Panthers dead set made more errors in the first half. Like that, this is the thing too. That first half in particular, Penrith won't play that bad again. Like Isaiah Yeo had an error. I think Dylan Edwards had two. Taruva had two. Taruva didn't drop a high ball last year. He had two. Dylan Edwards, I think, was it Isaiah Yeo and Cleary? Like, it was like crazy. Like, I'd never seen that before. Like, Panthers made one error in the grand final with all that pressure on them. And in this game, they had like 7 in the first half. And all their superstars as well. It was crazy. Absolutely crazy. So, I wouldn't be licking your lips if I was another team, because look at some of these numbers. They still ran for 2 kilometres, restricted the Storm to 1,600. I mean, conceded one line break. You get what I'm saying? Like, their defensive systems are fine. 22 tackle breaks to 32. I mean, I did feel like Melbourne Storm were playing the ball quickly. I don't know if it was a ref, but I feel like the ref was giving Melbourne a little bit more leeway, but it might have just been my eye. I'm not going to stand on that or anything. I mean, tackle efficiency is great. Missed tackles 22. It's just, 16 errors to 12. I mean, like I said, Melbourne didn't play great either, but if that number right there is 7, I think Penrith win this game. But they have to be a lot better. They have to be a lot better. And I really just wish Luai, they wouldn't look for Luai to do stuff. Just like him inject himself when he sees something. Sort of like, I think Parramatta balanced quite well with Dylan Brown and Mitchell Moses. Mitchell Moses is better than Dylan Brown, but you know what I mean? When there's something on an edge, I'd much rather Dylan Brown have the ball than Mitchell Moses. Even though Mitchell Moses is still great, it's just Dillbag can really push through a tackle and step inside and slick and all that sort of stuff. So I just wish Cleary would get more ball, but it's crazy, man. Another upset. Player stats. I don't think there's much to sort of check here because the game was so poo. I mean, Taruva still went for 200 and Dylan Edwards was good, but there's not much going on there, so let's skip it. Bulldogs, Eels. Let's have a look. All right, to start off with, this is a big one to unpack. I'll go to what Parramatta did right first, and then we can get into the Bulldogs because, Jesus Christ, man of the match for this one, I had Bryce Cartwright. He was ridiculous. I tell you what, Brad Arthur's the best I've ever seen it develop in second rows. He's what he's done with Bryce Cartwright. Like, actually put all these together. Offa and Gowie, Sean Lane, Bryce Cartwright. Hopgood couldn't get a game. Ryan Madison was a bench player. Tuolungi was unwanted at the Tigers. They all looked brilliant. Like, they all looked really, really good. Like, he's dead set got to be the best bloody forward development coach of all time. Seriously. Now, this game was a little bit funny. Parramatta well on top early, and then let's start before the game. I love this. So, Regan Campbell-Gillard and starting Joe Offa and Gowie and putting Junior Paulo to the bench. Like, similar to the Moses Leota and Fisher Harris situation, you got two of literally Parramatta. They're probably two of the best prop rotations in the game. If you want to say they're third or fourth, cool, but they're up there. Like, when we're talking about two top, state of both state of origin props in the same team. You know what I mean? That's pretty rare to have. You got literally two Blues halfbacks, Blues props in your team starting. But there was just too many times last year where one of them would go off, both of them would go off, whatever, and it fell apart in the middle a little bit. Lost the ruck, all that sort of stuff. And starting Junior Paulo off the bench, like, this is brilliant. We'll look at his player stats. 43 minutes. Junior Paulo played more games than any player over the last 2 years when you add in State of Origin and the games for Samoa. So wasn't missing games. He was playing. Brad Arthur's playing for 65 minutes. He's a massive man, and playing him off the bench like that was brilliant. He brought him on. When he came on, he was... Because if you start, like, even if you're the best player, like, everyone's fresh, it's a bit harder, you know what I mean? You don't look... He came on when the Bulldogs were a bit tired, and he was substantially the best forward on the park. Like, he pulled his arm free whenever he wanted, was like, who wants it? He wasn't getting put on his back. He was just... It was an absolute master stroke from him, and this is how I like it. And this is what the Broncos and the Warriors might have a little problem with this year. So he started him on the bench, brought him on about 20 minutes in, played him through to the half, so he played 20 minutes, came on, played not a huge stint, about 15, 20 minutes again, brought him off, still had an interchange in spare. Bulldogs actually came back, so you could have, if you blow your team out, you leave him off. Cool, you done your job, Junior, good job, you killed it. You still played the same amount of minutes, roughly, as a normal prop would anyway. But Bulldogs started to look a little nice towards the end of the game. Bring Junior back on, firm up the middle at least. So it gives you that extra little option to keep, to that little ace up your sleeve. You bring Campbell Gillard back on for his second stint, so he can at least finish the game. So you got one on. Junior Paulo's there if needed. If not, enjoy a beer, Junior. Good job. You ripped him apart. So absolute masterstroke from Brad Arthur. I thought he should have done that last year. Same. So I was just talking about the Broncos and the Warriors. That's what they have to figure out. I still feel like Payne Haas and AFB are just too many minutes. I mean, you think about it, they're your Ferraris, and you're putting them in a destruction derby. There's this, the more minutes those guys play, the more likely to get a syndesmosis, to accidentally hip drop someone, to, just accidentally head high someone, to whatever. And all of a sudden, you relied on him so much, and now you're missing him for 4 weeks because you played him too long. The more you play, the more likely you are to get a suspension, to get an injury. So, bloody hell, if you can get away with playing your best prop for 43 minutes a game and you still win games, still win the middle, I'm all for it. So, good work, Brad Arthur. I'm just having a look what else. Parramatta didn't make their first error to the 60th minute. So, Para's middle. So, the second row was in. All brilliant. Still a bit dodgy on the edges. They helped. The middle was so dominant, though it didn't matter. Like, the Bulldogs didn't get a chance to get to their edges too often. So, it was pretty damn good. And yeah, just onto the Bulldogs, man. I mean, I did a TikTok video on this, and it's getting to the point where I'm not too sure if Cameron Ciraldo can coach or is good coach, or however you want to say it. And people were like, "Oh, it's only one game." I'm like, "Nah, bro, it was last year too." Now, I gave him a pass last year because it was his first year. He didn't pick the roster, but then this to me was just the dumbest thing. Like, it's so obvious. Like, Josh Adokar, literally State of Origin Australian winger. You're gonna need him. He gets smacked by Bryce Cartwright. Looked like a broken collarbone or broken ribs. Could not lift his arm. And then, so it starts before that. In the off-season, he bought like 8 utilities. You lose a player, clearly couldn't lift his arm, couldn't take carries, couldn't tackle. And you, instead of using one of those utilities, you play him for the rest of the game, possibly get more damage. Like, what are you doing, bro? Like, Salmon centre, Carrasco's the wing. Like, Mam, go to the centre, go to the wing. Like, there's just so many options you could have done. Like, Curran could have gone and played centre. Moran could have played centre. Like, there's just options everywhere. Like, Jacob Preston's actually built more like a centre. Bring a second rower on. Like, put Curran there. Like, he has so many options. And what he chose to do was, I'll leave my winger out there to get smacked around, bashed by a massive forward pack for another 35 minutes. Are you serious, bro? Like, that is so dumb. Like, that is one of the dumbest coaching decisions I've ever seen. It also hindered their game too, because I don't. They're just lucky Mitchell Moses got injured too, because he would have attacked that short side so hard, but he could barely run. Like, he couldn't take carries, so they're kicking down to him, and he's running up like real hurt, and he's just sort of leaning into the. So it affected all their go forward. So forget the well-being of the player. Like, it was just a poor strategical decision, because you got a guy that can't make your meters, who's got to go run back, catch the ball, and then run it up and run into collisions. Silliness, man. So I'm just, I don't know. I'm really, really sus on Serraldo. I'm starting to begin to think what he actually did there. I mean, another thing, we heard all about, the Dogs of War are coming back. What, French Bulldogs of War? Like, what was that? Like, let's have a look at their meters. 1,700, they ran 1,100 meters. You know, like, that's, I mean, you can sit there and go, this is, I kept hearing the excuse as well. Like, they didn't have much ball. Bro, you had 33 sets. Like, not in a normal game, you might get 38. Like, I don't know, man. It was not good. And then on that as well, same sort of thing. At the 70th minute, Kickow had 4 carries, and the guy you brought in to help right the ship had 4 carries. Like, and I had the same thing. Yeah, but like, Para had all the ball, bro. At that point, you had over 20 completed sets, and well over close to 30 sets. So 25 sets at times 6, which is, I don't know what that is, 150 or whatever. So you had 150 carries, and Viliami, Kickow, and Stephen Crichton had 8. That's not good enough. Not good enough, man. I hated that excuse. Yeah, but they didn't have much ball, bro. They had 30 sets. They had 30 sets, and they got 8 carries between them. 8 carries out of 150. Not good enough, man. Not good enough. I'm trying to find some positive. Taft was average. Blake Wilson played pretty solid. Crad, so solid. Crichton looked good the 5 times he touched the ball. Burton, this blocking rule is going to affect him a lot as well, more than anyone. Matt Burton, he's got a huge bomb and all that, but he takes a really long time to load up his kicks. Now there's no blockers. He's going to have big troubles this year. Drew Hutchison, I mean, a lot of people were bagging him and saying bring Sexton in. I don't know. I don't think he was horrendous, but he wasn't great. Max King, the French Bulldog of War. Farmasili looked average. Kickout was average. Preston got smacked around a bit too. Salmon just leaked the most basic, easy try to... Yeah, so a lot of people were sort of... Samuel Hughes, I mean, there was all these raps on this guy, and don't get me wrong, he looks good. But, I mean, he scoops up a thing out of the end goal, runs up, and then I think it was Hands just literally runs over to him and grabs the ball off it. Like, zero resistance, just here, give me that. And then they go to Parramatta, go and score a try. Didn't even look like he tried to get, fight for it. Just literally went, so yeah, score a try. It was pretty poor. But, yeah, it was not great. Now, from Para, so... Edges looked a little flimsy. I thought Morgan Hart, Will Penasini was brilliant. Bailey Simonson was good. Russell, yeah, Parramatta. This is what I'm worried about. These guys here, they look okay. Dillbags, he was good. I suspect him to be a bit better, but he was good. I'd give him a passing grade. Obviously, Mitchell Moses looked scary. He looked like he was out to seek and destroy, and unfortunately pulled his groin. And like I said, I think the Bulldogs were lucky he did, because this could have got 30 plus real quick, 30, 40 plus real quick. Just the way the Fords dominated, we saw the Fords numbers before, with Mitch Moses running at full speed. Yeah, scary stuff. Sean Lane was good. I thought Offrangel was great. He's a really talented dude. He's a little bit similar to Marty Tapau, where it was TPJ, whereas all the skill in the world, but it's bro, put it in the queue. Just run hard, tackle hard. That's all you have to do. You don't have to be the man. And under Brad Arthur, I think he might be pretty good. And like I said, if he can take 10 minutes off Junior Paulo, having to play all those minutes, not make errors, run hard, tackle hard, I think he'll be a bit fit. Sean Lane looks solid. Bryce Cartwright was the best on park. Hopgood was solid, stupid error at the end, but looked all right. I thought Tuolangi looked pretty nice when he came. It was Ryan Madison's flick as well. When he was getting dumped, just oof. Freak, man. Freak. They're going to be a fun team to watch this year, Parramatta. Real fun. Can't wait. Have a look at some stats quickly. Yeah, like I said, 43 minutes from Junior Paulo. That's brilliant. I want a little bit higher than that. Well, sorry, 43 minutes in a comfortable win, sweet. In a big game, you want him on there for 55 for sure, definitely. No crazy numbers from anyone here, but we'll just have a look at the Bulldogs forward pack again because they were crying dogs of war again. I mean, Reid Marnie, god damn it. I was shocked when I read this and it said only 10 missed tackles. I thought it was worse, but I mean, you should never really tackle below 90%. I know people are like, think about if you tackle at 80%, that means out of every 10 tackles you're missing 2. Like, that's pretty bad, man. That's not great. Like, that's not great. But yeah, it was all over the park. I mean, Jacob Preston, 3. Yeah, it was, that's acceptable on an edge. But yeah, it was just Reid Marnie. It's just like I did in my preview, guys. I was saying, like, Parramatta showed everyone how to beat the Bulldogs last year. And it was run at Reid Marnie, make a million tackles. And I said, I knew he was going to do at least 40. He did 50. And then when he's in offense, he's cooked because he's just had Junior Paulo, RCG, and Hopgood just blasting him for like just constantly. And then now he's got to go ball play. It's too tough, man. It's too tough. So yeah, they've got to fix that. Reid Marnie, he's just such a small guy. This is the thing too. When you're little, it takes a lot of energy to tackle. Like when you're big, like Payne Haas, look, this is how he tackles. Someone runs at him, he goes, ugh. Reid Marnie has to like go, bang, dig his shoulder, perfect technique, lift, like, it's a lot harder. So those 51 tackles, they're hard tackles because he's the smallest bloke out there. So yeah, they've got to figure something out because it's not a hard strategy to just run forwards at Reid Marnie for 20 minutes until he gasses, and then everything will open up from there. But yeah, Bulldogs have to be better. I think Parramatta need to be a bit better too, but we'll see how they go. What I say for Parramatta to make the top 4, they have to beat the bad teams. They have to win the games where they're the favourites. It's okay to drop a game where, against Penrith or Melbourne where you're the underdog, they happen, but Parramatta can't drop games where they can't lose the underdogs if they're going to do anything this year. All right. Man, this game was crazy. Man of the match, I got Sloan, but I also could have gone that to Zach Lomax. First set looked great. Oh, that's right. So I just forgot how this game. So Dragons came out guns blazing, looking beautiful. I think they scored in their first or second set, maybe looked sharp. Then they just started errors just all over the place. It was absolutely terrible. They looked horrible, and then they literally started off the second half. Ben Hunt did literally what he did in the grand final and just dropped something cold and looked awful. But Dragons defense, like you could tell, Kyle Flanagan. This is the thing I was just talking about Serrao not being able to coach. Dragons last year awful. Cameron Serrao comes in. No, sorry, Kyle Flanagan. No, is it Kyle Flanagan? What's the dad's name again? Shane Flanagan. Sorry, I was thinking of his son. Shane Flanagan comes in, and they're just another team. Like they were awful defensively last year. Let's have a look at their defense here. 94%. Only missed 17 missed tackles. Only 2 ineffective tackles in a game. That is so good. You get what I'm saying? Like, it's just coaching does matter, man. And like, Dragons not once put numbers up like this on defense. 94, 17, 2. Ridiculous. Like, they made 300 tackles, man. 317 tackles, only missed 17. That's so good. That's absolutely ridiculous. So, yeah, shout out to Flanagan, both Flanagans, because I thought Kyle Flanagan was a scapegoat at the Bulldogs. I thought he looked fine. Did I think he looked like Mitchell Moses or Nathan Cleary? No. He was fine. Like he could be a Robin to a Batman. Real, like if you put him in at Penrith, if you put him in at Parramatta, like anywhere with a good 7, he would thrive. Just like Luke Brooks did with Manly. Everyone's saying how crap Brooks is. What happens? He goes somewhere with a good halfback where he doesn't have to do everything. Thrive. Kyle Flanagan's a good player, man. And he got a bum rap at the Bulldogs, and it was so good to see him thrive and smiling and hitting hitting the logo. He's here now, so shout out to the St George. I thought Moses Sawley looked so good. He looks lean. Zach Lomax, there was reports of him being upset playing wing. Bro, why would you want to play centre? Winger, you get all the tries. You get to sit back, chill during the set. You get all the fun stuff. You get to do all the aerial stuff. He's one of the best guys in the air. He looks nice out there, man. We'll get to his stats in a minute. Sloan, I love him just sniffing around the ruck. He looked absolutely brilliant. They didn't even need Ravalawa to score a hat-trick to blow a team out. Ben Hunt, like I said, couple errors, booted the ball out on the... I don't think he booted the ball out on the full. He had a couple just bombs where he just... Like he kicked it on his own 40 and it landed on the 50. Just a few crap kicks like that. Jacob Little was damn near close to my man of the match as well. He was sharp, man. Shout out to Dabble as well. And then they put Fratello. And another Bulldogs player from last year, they wouldn't play. Mariner was brilliant. It was so good to see him smiling out there, having a good time. I hate when players get made scapegoats for coaches and poor leadership and poor poor environment. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, whatever, man. Like, people thrive in good environments, man. It's a fact. It's just the way it is. Not too sure if they'll stick with it like this. I guess maybe wanted a bit more punch off the bench. I thought Marcilla was good, but yeah, we'll get to the team stats. But yeah, I thought that were really nice, the Dragons. They looked really good. Could have obviously completed a bit higher. I mean, even if they just took 2 or 3 errors off that, that's brilliant. Ran for 1,700 metres, 633 post-contact. This is that's alarming for the Titans. They actually won the ruck a lot. Look how fast that play the ball is. That's 300, like nearly 2. This is average. Getting towards 4 seconds is slow. So they were getting these fast play the balls and 1 line break. So they're Moe, Tino, Palacia, like all these guys are getting these nice quick play the balls, going through the middle. They didn't get pumped in the middle. The Titans have definitely held their own and they could only generate 1 line break. That's alarming. If you're winning the ruck like that, running for 40 metres a set, you should be able to generate more than 4 points in 1 line break. That's alarming. 10 offloads to 2. Look at that, 94%. Like this, they defended great. Like 90%, that's brilliant. Only 19 missed tackles. A few more ineffective tackles than the Dragons. But the errors from both teams. I mean, if they really tidied this up, they could have made it a contest. But they made a bunch of errors themselves. But yeah, really, really nice from the Dragons. Really good. Like, man, I'm not gonna lie, I was one of them. I thought they were going to get the spoon this year, man, and they still could. But I mean, look at Zach Lomax out on the wing, 266 metres, gets himself a try, 100 post contact, 2 line breaks, 2 tackle breaks, brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Moses Sawley, 211 metres. Looks brilliant, man. I tell you, some NRL players in good nick this year. Just really leaned up. Ola Kawatu, Sawley, Royce Hunt, Papali'i, Junior Paulo, all look like they've just put the KFC down and fucking got in the gym. It's absolutely brilliant. So shout out to the Dragons, man. You're gonna win a lot more games than what. I mean, the bookies had a bet where you could bet overs or unders where you win more games than the bye. So shout out to the Dragons for getting off to a good start. Absolutely brilliant. Now onto the Sharkies Cowboys. Dolphins Cowboys. Look, man. Cowboys have had a stacked team for a while now. Now, I did a TikTok video about this. Similar to Parramatta as well. Cowboys didn't really add anyone in the off season, so people just think, oh, if you haven't added anyone and you came 9th last year, well, you're not going any better this year. There's a thing called addition through subtraction, and I think getting Peter Hiku out of there and Luciano Leilua out of there was brilliant. Peter Hiku to me was not NRL standard last year. I don't think Leilua's too patchy. I like Leilua as like an impact player off the bench. I don't like him starting. I think he would have halted the growth of a few of the other good second rows they have there. And the thing with Leilua is, like, man, you're allowed to give a penalty or do an error. Like, there's nothing, like, every player makes errors, but Leilua just had this knack of having errors and penalties at crucial times. he just had this knack of just, like, they're rolling down, like, they've got momentum, you're up. All you have to do is just get up and don't give a penalty, and he'll just lay all over someone and blow a penalty. All of a sudden now you're literally defending your line. Just stuff like that. He just had this knack. I can't remember what game it was last year, but I remember it was like script, like, Cowboys are up, blah, 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 and then the other team was rolling, and I said, oh, someone actually gave him a call. Luciano's, he's a handy player, and I said, yeah, but he always gives the dumbest errors at dumbest times, and then literally he just gave a stupid penalty at a stupid time, and then I was like, it was crazy, man. But look, I really liked the Cowboys. They looked nice. Not flawless by any means, but pretty damn good. Yeah, I like the team better now without those two in it. Just that's pretty much where I'll leave it. They look great. Like, and same thing as the other teams. I was saying, like, to me, Cowboys to make it the top 4, not the top 8, the top 4. Chad Townsend has to play better than he did last year. He has to get 2022 form back. Tick, he did that. They have to win games away from home, because I think they were winning games last year at about 30% away from home. First one, tick. So tick. Chad doesn't have to play his absolute best footy. It just has to be better than last year. Has to be better than last year. I mean, look at this: 87% completion, 86% completion, ran for nearly 2 kilometres. Post contact 650. Look at these lightning quick play the balls. I mean, Drinkwater's going to just feast with that, man. Absolutely feast. And then look at that on top of that, 91% completion rate. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Dolphins, not very Dolphin-y. Last year they were a gritty team that completed better than every other team. They held onto the ball, didn't do silly things, and they weren't great. But I think they'll be better. I think that this one to me looked a little ring rusty. I still think they're going to grind out quite a few wins this year. I don't have them in my 8, but I think they'll still grind out a bunch of wins this year. But yeah, they looked real nice. I mean, who did I have for man of the match at this one? Oh man, I tell you what, like, Val Holmes looked nice. I know he didn't do anything, but he was running so hard. His carries were sick. Yeah, he looked good. Did look nice. McLean was real good. I had him in my fantasy team. He killed it. He looked real nice. Reece Robson looked good. Jason Taumalolo looked better in the middle. Lukey looked good. Now, just 4 try scorers. I think these two are going to get a lot of their tries. I usually, and I think the centres are going to get a lot as well. Labour, man, was brilliant. Now, Hammer possibly had the worst game of his career in this one. He got, I mean, it started with the Zach Labert one. Zach Labert's like bursting through a thing, sort of not like, doesn't have perfect form. Like, he's sort of tripping through the line. He has inside cover. Hammer's in front of him. He sort of throws this fake back pass. Looked brilliant. It was sick. Like, not dissing him at all. It looked so slick. It was nice. But what are you doing, Hammer, bro? Why would you fall for that? Like, he's not making that pass, bro. Like, smack him, bro. Like, why are you falling for that? And then he just like strolls over. You get made look an idiot. You would have never made that pass. I'm sorry, like, at full speed, sort of half tripping over, flicking a 20-metre flick. He's not Joey Manu, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Like, Zach Labert's nice, but he's not Joey Manu, man. So that was, when I saw that, I was like, oh, everyone was sort of saying, man, Labert's where. I was like, what was Hammer so doing? Like, you had him one-on-one. He was running straight at you, and you just turned because he stuck an arm out and did that. Bruh, so terrible. And he just stunk it up all game. He was stinking it up. He left a big old dump in the middle of Suncorp. It was terrible. He was so bad. He started a break, cool, but he was awful. Tuolangi looked strong. Who else? Yeah, so they were good. I really liked Steve Kerr. I thought he was brilliant. Jesse was good. Jeremiah King didn't look great. There wasn't much to take out of it for the Dolphins. I really liked Josh Kerr. I thought he looked real nice. Yeah, not much else to talk about there really. It was really good performance from the Cowboys. Let's have a look at some of these stats real quick. Yeah, let's not go there. Now, just to be honest, man, I mean, no, he did it. think Velame has to come in for Kyle Felt. I know they've got a bit of a soft spot for him. He's part of that grand final team, blah, blah, blah. But Velame's better. I mean, Kyle Felt, what he put down 2 bombed a try. I don't know, man. I think Velame, he's better at yardage. He's got a nice set of hands. You can't stop him one-on-one. Like, if he's in the corner, he's got a bit of talk about him one-on-one. I think he's got to be in the team. I know loyalty and all that stuff, but I just think the Cowboys are better with Velame in this team. It's funny, I don't actually rate Kyle Felt that high. And every time I go to sort of rip him in a video, like even this one, like he nearly scored a double. So it's like it's hard to rip on someone and say, oh man, Kyle Felt needs to go when he scored a double. But like every time I go to sort of really go, this guy has to get out of this team. He'll do something crazy where I'm like, oh man, like there's probably 2 players in the league that do that. Like what was that one? He jumped over that guy and he sort of scored the try over his own head, and he does crazy stuff. There was a couple games last year where I'm watching and going, man, I'm going to rip him in my video. He's like, this is a pathetic game of rugby league from Kyle Felt. And then he'll just score a double, and that was not easy tries, like hard tries to score. I'm like, Jesus Christ, man, the hell. So, but yeah, I still don't think he does enough good stuff to outweigh his bad stuff. And Velame for me is a monster, absolute monster. You do not want to lose that guy. I don't know how long they've got him signed for, but if it's not long and they keep putting Kyle Felt ahead of him, you hate to lose him. I think they signed him recently, so I think that'll be fine. And that's it, lads. We're done. We're all through. So we'll have a quick look at next week's draw, guys. Who we got? All right, Broncos. How crazy is this? One of these 2 teams is going to be 0-2 to start. Broncos or Rabbitohs. Doesn't get any easy for the Bulldogs. They're going to go play the Sharkies on Friday night. Short turnaround for the Eels as well. Best Panthers. I think Mitchell Moses is okay for that one. West Tigers get their first hit out against the Raiders. Sitting in 4th. Cowboys versus the Knights. Oh, up in Townsville as well. Storm versus the Warriors. Should be a good one. Jam. Warriors could be 0-2 as well. Crazy. This is a good one. Seagulls Roosters. That's going to be nice. And then Dolphins, Dragons, and Titans getting the bye. Wow, that's crazy. All right, that's it. We're all done, guys. Thank you all so much for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.